In today's world, over 84% of individuals look up a company, a business, or a person on social media before making the decision of if they want to work with them or not. This means that your social media presence and your Facebook page is either building trust or it's losing you business. If you're an insurance agent, a financial advisor, or other licensed professional, this video is for you. I'm going to share a simple 3-part framework specifically created for your industry that will take the guesswork out of what you should be posting on your Facebook page to transform it into a lead generation machine. So if you're ready, let's dive in. In case we haven't met yet, my name is Shauna and I teach insurance agents and other licensed professionals how to break free from lead vendors, how to stop paying overpriced marketing agencies and their little done-for-you systems and put the power back in your hands so that way you can be in control of your own lead generation. Now today we're going to be talking about what you should specifically be posting on Facebook. And one piece of advice that you're not going to hear from me is the very, in my opinion, generic, just be authentic and just post something. To me, that is such a common answer that so many gurus give out. And the reality is, to me, that is a nothingness answer. It does not give me any type of ideas or inspiration or knowing what I should actually be putting on my page. So I want you to walk away from this video inspired with knowing exactly what you should be posting and some direction to see how you're going to actually put some content on your Facebook page that is going to build over time and is going to establish trust and transform your social media presence into a lead generation machine. Now, before we jump into that, let's talk briefly about how social media has evolved. Because if you're someone that was born in the 1900s, guilty, or the early 2000s, then you might have an antiquated view on what social media actually is in today's world. I know that I have before, and I've had to step back and actually look at consumer behavior to accept how drastic social media has changed from probably what our initial perception of social media once was. So if you were born in the 1900s or you were around in the early 2000s, you remember what it was like when social media first entered our life. We had MySpace in 2003, we had Facebook in 2004, and in my opinion, social media kind of served 3 purposes, right? Personally, as like a personal page, and that is post what you had for dinner because people need to know if you had Taco Tuesday. 2, keep your relationship status up to date because people need to know if you're single, it's complicated, or if you're divorced. And 3, post only the most picture perfect moments of your life in order to create FOMO for all of those around you. And for many of us, social media just felt very me, and very like showboaty and very inauthentic. And for many of us, it kind of like pulled us back and we weren't exactly sure how to actually utilize this whenever it came to business content. Then kind of the next era of social media was all about the influencer. And that made it even more superficial and even more inauthentic. And for many of us, we really kind of pulled back because we didn't identify with trying to become an influencer or someone that is posting that type of like showy type of content. But the reality is, right now, social media has had a drastic shift. And I'm talking about a drastic shift in just like the past even year. People are now using social media for more than just spying on their crush from 1999. They are using it for entertainment, for education, to look up businesses and products, for inspiration, for community, for something that makes them laugh, for something that makes them feel like they're not alone, and so on. It has so many different facets to it now that it used to not, that it's kind of important to kind of shake your mindset up to actually see how it's evolved over the years and what it actually is now in today's world. If you're enjoying this video and you're learning something new, then please do me a huge favor and hit that subscribe button. It costs you nothing. It means the world to me. It helps me get my message out there to more of the right people. All right, let's get back to the video. So once you start to accept and view social media for what it is in today's world and how consumers are using it to connect, to get education, to research different companies and businesses before making a decision of if they want to work with them, the next kind of hurdle to get over is what your mindset is of you yourself putting content out there. And this is something that I can relate to greatly because for many, many years, I spent my time being on the back end of business businesses and kind of hiding in the shadows of the business and just focusing on their lead generation and optimizing their customer journey. And it's only recent that I started to put myself out there and start utilizing the platforms for my own message. And I have struggled with the most common advice that I hear, and I hear this told to insurance agents and licensed professionals all the time, and that is you have to view yourself as a content creator and you have to treat it like that and take it seriously. And for me, I was really struggling with, I just don't identify as a content creator. That term and all of, to me, the meaning behind that, it just didn't sit well with me. And I definitely did not want to be identified as an influencer and start trying to aspire to have that be a title that was associated with my name. But what I do want is I do want to make impact. I want to make impact, and the way that I'm able to do that and get in front of individuals to make impact and grow my business is through social media. For me, I've had to see it as just because I'm using the same platform as someone that is sharing luxury purchases or fitness topics, it doesn't mean that I'm trying to be one of them. Just like using a vehicle to drive somewhere, it doesn't mean that you're going to the same destination. You can drive the same car as someone else and be going to completely different locations, right? And I'm willing to guess that you aren't either. There are so many insurance agents that they don't want to be content creators, and I understand that. But here's the thing, your goals are to grow your business, to establish trust, and to deliver things in a way that make an impact. You also want to be discoverable so that way new prospects can find you. So I want you to think of it this way. You are not a content creator. You don't need to try to be a content creator. You don't need to follow the channels that teach you about how to be a content creator. Instead, you are an advisor who happens to use social media to share your message. You're an advisor who happens to use posting, who happens to use videos to share your message and to show potential prospects who you are and what you're about. For myself, I'm trying to look at it as I'm a teacher who happens to use video to share my message and so on. So take the pressure off of trying to be a content creator and trying to follow the gurus that tell you, or and it's all about your follower account and these types of things. Take that pressure away, but put the pressure on to grow your business and to make an impact, even if that means being a little bit uncomfortable at times. So let's dive into this framework. Now, I like to say that you want people to see you. That is, see you. So CCCEEE. Now, the 3 C's is how you build trust, and the 3 E's is what you're actually going to be posting. Because one of the most important things that you want to have happen when someone lands on your page is for them to feel like they can trust you. And once they feel like they can trust you, then you've already done a lot of the initial legwork of establishing that rapport. So when you speak to them, actually converting them is going to be even easier. So let's talk about what those 3 C's stands for. So they stand for competence, compassion, and character. So the first one, competence. You need to have a content that showcases that you are truly the expert. You need to demonstrate that you understand your stuff, you know insurance, you know Medicare, you know retirement planning, whatever your niche is, that you truly understand your business and you are truly an expert at it. The next C, compassion. You need to show that you care. When people feel like you care about them, they feel like they can actually trust what your intentions are. So you're not trying to sell them something all of the time. You're showing that you genuinely care about them and that you want to help them solve their problems. Next C, character. And that is showing that you're likable. You're someone that they would want to do business with. You're someone that they actually would want to work with. You're not super pushy. You're a real person that they can actually trust. And when people see those 3 things inside of your content, it makes it much easier for them to establish trust. And obviously, trust is what leads to appointments and sales. So let's dive into what you actually are going to be posting, and that is the 3 E's. And they stand for education. So you're going to teach them something valuable. Empathy, so you can show that you understand their struggles. And entertainment. So that way you can showcase that you're actually human. Now let's dive into some actual posts that you can get on your page that encompass these 3 E's. So starting with education. So this is obviously where you're going to be teaching them something. So some examples of this, my favorite type of educational post that is going to be the easiest for you to kind of jumpstart and actually get some stuff that is out there is answering questions. Now, I want you to keep this in mind. When you are answering questions on social media, people want to hear your own take on things. So gone are the days of like the 3 mistakes that you must avoid in Medicare. It's, I've been a Medicare agent for 5 years, and here's the 3 mistakes that I see people make over and over. That is a very different feeling and approach that makes me know that I'm only going to get the answer if I listen to what you have to say. It's not something I can ask ChatGPT or that I can Google on my own. I want to hear what you actually have to say. So you can position this by just simply answering a question, whether it is a post or it is a video that you decide to make. And I always say to agents and to other licensed pros, pretend like you were asked a question. If you're going to do a video, you can easily say, I just got this question that was asked. It's, I have $100,000 in savings. I'm not sure about what I'm going to do for retirement. So what would be some options that I have? And then you answer the question however you would in front of a client. You could also do this as a written post, but questions are probably the easiest way to kind of ease yourself in and actually start getting some of that content on there. Another thing is bringing awareness to what it is that the solution you have is to offer. So for example, let's use annuities. This is a really good one for an example. A lot of people that offer annuities want to talk about annuities nonstop on social media. They want to post about, come talk with me about annuities. I'll share with you how annuities can change everything and so on. There is a whole world of people that don't even know that this is a solution to a worry that they have. So making content that doesn't even mention the product or the solution, such as how to know if you have enough retirement, how to actually see if you have enough in your 401k, or the 3 different retiring mistakes that people make that I want you to avoid, and so on. Remember that there are people that think that they automatically get enrolled in Medicare. They don't think that they need a will or a trust. They don't know that if they talk to an agent about what health insurance plan, it could actually save them money and cost them nothing more. They think that their employer gives them enough life insurance that is going to take care of their family if something happens. They don't know that there's life insurance products that have a living benefit, and so on. So this is meeting people at a different level of awareness. They're not quite ready to talk to an agent, but if you are the person that can bring about that awareness and can take them on the journey to discovering that this is a product or a solution that might actually fit their needs, then you are most likely going to be the person that they're going to contact and that they're going to fully trust whenever they're actually speaking to you. So thinking about bringing awareness to what the actual solution is that you have to offer. Okay, you can bust myths. So talk about things that are wrong, misconceptions. And if you need some inspiration for this, ChatGPT, Claude, these AI tools are wonderful for this. One of my favorite things to do, like if I am working on, let's say, a Medicare ad creative, is I will say, can you research all of the different forums out there and see what people's biggest questions are around Medicare whenever it comes to enrolling this AEP, and get back some questions so I can actually see what the pain points are that people in today's environment are actually experiencing and saying. So look up, ask ChatGPT for some common misconceptions whenever it comes to term insurance or life insurance or whatever it is that you have to offer, right? Comparisons, sharing things like what's the difference between an IUL and an annuity? What's the difference between whole and term, and these types of things. You could also break down things that meet them at a totally different awareness, where you could say the difference between relying on your 401k and having another plan, and so on. Hot takes. You can share something that is happening in the news right now and what your opinion is on it. And also warnings. People love whenever you're giving them warnings because it shows that you actually care about them. So here's something that you need to be aware of before you make XYZ decision. So all of these are different types of posts and content that you can get on your page. Then when someone lands on it, they're going to instantly feel like you are an expert, that you're an advisor, that you're someone that they could actually trust in knowing about this. So I'm going to say that that is about 50 to 60% of the content that you have on your page. And then the other 25 and 25 has to do with the other two E's. And that is number 2 is empathy. So this is post that shows that you acknowledge their struggles. The next E stands for empathy. And these types of posts make people feel heard and understood. It acknowledges their struggles. It shows that you understand what they're going through and that you genuinely care about them. With one of my long-term care planning clients who also offers Medicaid look-back planning, their highest performing ads are stories that are personal stories about what their family went through. So one of them is, my parents were married for, I can't remember the exact number. My parents were married for 58 years when it happened. And then it walks through whenever her dad started deteriorating in his health, and they thought that Medicare would actually pay for their long-term care. And then they realized it didn't. So people were able to see themselves in that story and also go, oh, this company are people that actually care about what we're going through. We have another one that they have in there about a brother that has a horrendous accident that they never knew could happen. And because they didn't have the proper planning, they share some of the struggle that they went through and how they want to prevent people from ever having to go through that. So these types of stories not only can have an impact, but they actually can really work well in converting people into wanting to speak to you. So of course, you can share your own stories. You can share client stories. This is extremely impactful. Now, the purpose of you sharing this story, a lot of people think, is to show how great it is to work with you. That it is, look at how wonderful Shauna was as my advisor. She helped walk me through this plan and it was great. Those are good testimonials that you need to have. But the ones to actually portray the empathy are the ones where people can see themselves in the testimonial or in the story. So you talk about how this family thought that they had enough life insurance, but they didn't. Or you talk about how you helped this family. Now they have peace of mind. And then this is what happened whenever someone in their family passed. They actually got to celebrate their life and not worry about a stack of bills. So whatever it is that you have to offer, it's really impactful when you can share the stories that show that, yes, you understand what they're going through, but they can see themselves in the individuals that they're actually reading and they identify with them. So they want the same good result, or they want to avoid the bad thing that you're actually sharing in the story. Other things when it comes to empathy is you can give them a heads up about something that is going on. You can share things like, as a blank, it makes me happy when. So as a Medicare advisor, it makes me happy when this happens. Or as a life insurance agent, I hate whenever I see this happening because this is something that could be avoidable. So these types of posts, even ones that encourage, that say, I know that times can be tough when XYZ happens, or I know it can be overwhelming whenever you're trying to figure out what life insurance you should have whenever you're a single mother, or whatever it is. These types of posts lead with actually showcasing that you care about them. And the last E stands for entertainment. And this is where you actually show that you're a real human and you have the character of someone that they would want to work with. Now, your entire page does not have to be about the fact that you are a life insurance agent or that you are a Medicare advisor. You are allowed to show other little slices of your life. Just like whenever you go to have your prospect meeting, you most likely find a common ground that you connect on. Do you both like golf? Do you both like dogs? Do you both identify as family people, as grandparents, as mothers, as fathers, as maybe it's a religion that you identify as that you typically bond over? All of these different things are parts of your personality that you're allowed to put on your page. And in fact, only strengthen your social media presence and help build trust whenever someone actually lands on your page. So you can do this by, you can share some common values. What are some things about yourself that you typically find that you connect with people on? So common values, common interest. I have had some Medicare agents get good success with this suggestion where you take a picture, you say, oh my gosh, you're at their house and you're like, I love dogs. I love to feature dogs on my page and people's pets. Would you mind if I take a picture of your dog and I post it? And are you okay if I tag you? So then you're like, look, I got to meet this cute dog, Fluffy. He's 12 years old and his favorite treat is peanut butter in a cup or whatever it is. And then you tag the person. Guess what you just got? all of those people's friends just saw that this person was tagged, they're then going to look you up to see who you are. And they're going to assume when they see on your profile that you're a Medicare agent, that you were probably their Medicare agent. So that's a good way to get some eyeballs on it. So you can share if you're into sports, if you see something that is interesting on social media that you want to talk about, you can definitely put that out there. Another thing you can share is common enemies. There is nothing that bonds people faster than whenever they hate the same thing. And there's certain things that you're allowed to hate professionally. For example, right now, every single Medicare agent, as I make this is during AEP, every single Medicare agent should have some post up about how they hate the 1-800 numbers. They hate all of the different telemarketing agencies. They hate the way that there's so much confusion out there. They should be sharing some of the new rulings that is trying to protect seniors, because whenever they see that it's not just your opinion, it's something that's actually taken at a governmental level, that they wake up and kind of see there are actually a lot of scams out there around this, and I should probably talk to someone I can trust, aka the person that gave me the warning of it. You can share common connections. You can share belief statements. You can share human moments, some personal stories, things that you find funny, and things that are authentically you. You're allowed to kind of mix that in there. And that completes the full framework of getting people to see you, because whenever you post your educational content, they know that you're an expert. Whenever you share empathetic content, they know that you understand them. And whenever you share a little bit of entertainment, it shows a little insight into your character, who you are, and if you're someone they could trust. Now, if you need a little bit of help jumpstarting and getting some posts up there, I have a free resource linked down below. It is Hooked. It is 50 plug-and-play hooks that are designed specifically for insurance agents. I give examples for all different lines of business. You get 25 talking videos and 25 non-talking videos. So make sure that you grab that. Now, here's kind of the biggest takeaway that I want you to have. Just get some foundational content up on your page. Commit to posting once or twice a week, something that's very realistic, and start building that foundation so that way we can transform your social media presence into a lead generation machine. We are truly at a pivotal moment in time where the agents that build a personal brand that is around them as the actual advisor, those are the ones that are going to make it in the long term. Now, if you have any questions, drop them below. I read every single one, and I'll see you in the next video.